So part 2, what examples? Okay, Susie Baker. Okay, let's look at this example. Susie Baker is a CA is the Director of Accounting Policies. Okay, at an international manufacturing company. She has been working for the company for 10 years. Long relationship, right? Close tak tahu lagi lah, but it's long relationship, yeah. Company recently lost market shares and its stock has lost 10% of its market value. If earnings don't improve soon, staff layout will be inevitable. The means company is having problem to continue in operations, going concern issues, yeah. So with the cut targeting support functions, a predictable new business plan for entering a high margins market will satisfy the board directors and the shareholders. The CEO has developed a plan to start up operations in the emerging markets. Susie wasn't consulted during the plan's developments and she's concerned that the plans may not comply with bribery and corruption law. Okay, so suspicious, So, and then CEO has promised sizable bonuses. Okay, if Susie and her team can't get job done, whatever it takes. Okay, now, first of all, CEO is the one developing the plan. So if Susie has to look at the plan, first of all, what we talk about, what's the relationship between Susie and CEO? Close or long relationships? Okay, that's what I want to concern. Second thing, okay, I also saw that, okay, what is the influence, undue influence by CEO? By having to provide sizable bonuses to Susie. Undue influences, induce Susie, right? Okay, to fight him, to actually, not to do whatever in his favor, okay, for his benefits. So I can see there are two things here already. Then Susie has reviewed email communications, several of which suggest that the money was transferred to the external bank accounts in the target country around the same time. The new business plan was being developed. Okay? Wow, things like it's like so just in time kind of basis. Wow, you talk about this, suddenly you got the money already. Okay, so fast. And then the documentation supported that the payment is not clear. Where is the source of information, source of payments where it comes in how it goes out Okay, it's like people is trying to hide some of the details. Yeah, but there were several research and business explorations expenses paid to contractors in emerging markets during the planning phase. So there were also some payments made out already, okay, to contractor in emerging markets. Don't know for what reasons are not clear, okay, just pay out only. Susie has raised concern with the CEO, who seems very distracted and dismissive of Susie during their discussions. Susie could not determine the true nature of the payments. Just like when you apply one MTB, what happened to one that MTB, the money goes to where? Your vessel, you read the news, your vessel, Jolo punya vessel nampak tak? Cantik tak? To what? Okay, go back and search. Okay, then go to what? The Hollywood movie. Lagi? The houses, the property. Can you see or not? So when the fraudsters try to scam the money, right? It goes to many different sources. So that you not trace a lot of things for you to trace, not only go to one source only. So you need to get a lot of evidence that someone's in it. So the money, total money, split into few, okay, destination, few directions, okay, and go into some can be like the Hollywood, the movies is going to be into entertainment, and then assets like vessels properties, investment, this and that. Some is set up companies to do something else, so that you wouldn't know how to trace, or you kind of like it kind of like confuse the investigator really. Sometimes it's here, sometimes it's there. Then go into here already, transfer again. Then who is the one that transfer? Not very sure. It's not an individual, it's a company. And then the company later on, it dissolved already. Macam mana nak cari dissolve already? Then dissolve already, where the money goes to? They purposely try to go a few channels. Confuse you. Okay, so this is what happened. Okay, whenever you talk about people trying to move money out, okay, they don't move at one stop only. They move continuous. Okay, so I buy a vessel, then vessel already, the money in the vessel already, transferred, sold off to another person. So it's good to that person already. That person is an individual company or company already. Then later on, company transfer the money, but company cannot trace because bankrupt already or dissolved already. That individual. The individual, then they kata, oh, this one is something else. Okay, only on behalf. Money doesn't come to me. Then you have to trace. Yeah. So this is a difficulty when you do investigations. Okay, because the flow of the transaction is not so obvious because people purposely want to blow off the focus so that you don't have evidence to see that where the money goes to. Yeah. So this is what. Okay. So a lot of times when you come here, that is going to be constrained. That means missing information. Okay. You will have missing information sometimes. You need to spend more time to get those information because people purposely try to cover up the case. Yeah. By diverting the attentions to somewhere else. Yeah. Your task, what the trust complies with the fundamental principles. So this one, number one is what section 120, right? Talk about the threats first, then tie it back to the fundamental principle. Betul? Identify and explain the threat. That means identify how many threats you got. 5 types of threats, right? Some other self-review threats, self-interest, advocacy, intimidation, or familiarity threats. So you identify. Lepas tu you explain. Explain means what? You're gonna talk about the how and the why. From where? Case study ya. Jangan assume ya kawan-kawan. Case study. Okay? Then are the threats identified acceptable. Now, how to look at acceptable? I need to talk about the safeguards. Safeguard can be effectively mitigates the threats to an acceptable level or not. If not acceptable, then last resort exceeds. Discontinue what you are doing. That means you're gonna resign. Okay? You have to disconnect yourself, right? From the situation, from the condition, from the situations. So this is how you're going to, okay? So that is number 3. Number 3 is after you consider 1 and 2, what should Susie do? That means now continue to investigate or tell the bosses, hey, sorry, I'm not in the position to do it because of this threat is not acceptable and so on. So what should Susie be doing? Okay? Boleh? So you walk through the questions. Okay, so these are 3 steps. Yeah? So exam will be in this kind of format, yeah? If they give you an ethical scenario, most of the time they ask you in these 3 questions. Usually, most of the time. So, how do we present answer? As I said before, they want you to present answer in PowerPoint slide, right? PowerPoint slide boleh guna table. So, you can use table. Okay? So, what are the threats? Okay, if they want you to consider the threats, okay? If they don't tell you, please identify the specific threats, but it says that, please, okay, discuss, okay, with those or not the threats, okay, from what you learned. That means you will discuss on all the threats, self-interest, self-review, advocacy, familiarity. Then here you will say whether it is one of the threats or it's not one of the threats. Like self-interest, okay, which part of the case study? Promise of a large bonus, okay, self-interest, yeah. Self-review was not, but because they say that they want you to discuss the threats as per the section 120, so you pakai semua lah. You cannot say that, oh, can I ignore, can I just don't want to discuss it because ini tak ada, tak boleh lah, because they expect you even it's not relevant, if there's no threat, they also want you to justify. That means I need to talk about all the 5 here. So in all these 5, there may be some that is not relevant, that means it's not a threat, but you need to justify why it's not. Okay, for example here, you justify why self-review threat is not a threat because Susie was still involved in the preparations work. Susie now is only a reviewer. Susie was not involved in as a preparer. So that's why no self-review. So which means that you have to be careful. If the question asks you to discuss all the threats, that means ada ke tak ada pun kena cakap ya. It's a threat ataupun it's not a threat, also have to give justification. Tak boleh just exclude. Understand? Wah, kena exchange notes lagi ya. Anything to ask me? Dua orang tu? Sure? Can I understand? Because if let's say you thought some candidates tell me, yeah, we didn't talk about all the 5 because we did not know how to talk about. Then your answer, your marks will be deducted already. You have to be careful. Are we supposed to talk about all the 5 threats? But those that is not you justify, then you have to make sure that completeness of the answer will be on 5 threats. Okay, so this is also one of the challenges, incomplete answers sometimes. Okay, examiner has talked about it. Advocacy, okay, not eating because it's not selling, promoting, right? So advocacy is not. Familiarity, yes, 10 years, okay, working with that. Intimidations, maybe because it says that if you're going to, report according to what I say, you get your bonuses. Okay.